Good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. It's great to see you all. Hope you're all ready to go for this game. We cannot wait. We are very excited. Despite what happened to Casemiro last week, we're going to put that out of our minds. Get on with it. We've got a game ahead. We've got 3 points to win. Come on, let's reduce that gap. Let us get us right to the top of that table. How are you feeling today, Mick? How are you feeling about the game?
Good evening. No, I'm getting there. I've been quite nervous this past 6 hours. Been thinking about it, turning, flipping, and now we see the lineup is out, and obviously Arsenal hasn't changed a bit as expected. Same lineup week in, week out. The only thing that I'm surprised of is the thumbnail. McTominay stars. He hasn't had a start in 6 games, the full 90 minutes. So I'm dying to hear your football philosophy regarding that, mate. So where do we see the lineup as it is today in terms of reaction? Let us share the screen. This is the live lineup as we speak. This is the confirmed 11.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously putting McTominay in there, everybody knew that Casemiro was not able to play because of his amalgamation of yellow cards. So off the back of that, likely successor was going to be Scott McTominay. I did kind of put something out there saying perhaps Martinez could be trialed in that position, but I think it's not enough time to make that transition in such a big game. But I think McTominay, we've seen what he can do when he's at his best, and I think he knows the magnitude of this game, not just for Man United, the club he's played for so many years, for the league, for his future, for what difference is he going to make. He wants to show the manager he's got an opportunity to show Ten Hag, look, just because you've got Casemiro, who has been Rolls Royce all season, I can still play. I can still make a difference. I will give my all. Yeah. He's not been great coming off the bench. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he did. He came off the other day at a shot at goal sort of thing. I think it was against Palace, but not much else really. But the thing is, he's not finished. I'm not saying he's world class or anything, but he can do a job. We've seen it in the past. And like Ten Hag said after his presser the other day, we beat Arsenal earlier in the season without Casemiro. Can we do it again today? That's the big question. Arsenal have come on leaps and bounds since the beginning of the season. They are on a fantastic run of form. Their belief is soaring. They know that this is their greatest opportunity to win the league for many, many years.
100%.
City's not letting them go. Haaland just got a hat trick this afternoon, I think. So the pressure is on all three, us two, at least both of us, both United and Arsenal, to make sure we get as many points as possible. United to close the gap on City and Arsenal to try and keep that gap as big as possible, because they can feel other clubs breathing down the neck. And this, whether they, how they go, I don't know whether they can cope with that to the end of the season. They usually sort of tail out as the season ends, but let's just see. Massive.
We have a calling guest from Sydney, all the way from down under Sydney, who is a Arsenal supporter. Do you want to bring him on to have a chat with him? His name is Abs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Abs, welcome to the stream, mate. G'day from down under, mate.
G'day from Sydney. How you guys going?
Good day, Abs. What sort of time is it for you then?
So it's 3:05 in the morning over here.
Love the commitment. Are you watching the game? Or are you going to bed thinking it's not going to be worth it for Arsenal fan?
Oh, I was definitely going to bed. We're going to lose anyway.
Yeah. Let's go to the comments. We have a comment. Rahil Shavla says, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Good morning from Sydney. Also, good night for me. I'm in Thailand, so it's like 11. Yeah.
Abs is back. Yeah, go on, Abs.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Abs. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, just seeing the two lineups, and quite expected, to be honest, from both. We were never going to change anything, and Fred and McTominay, I thought we were always going to start in midfield with Casemiro's absence. So, yeah.
Going toe to toe. What's your expected result from this, Abs? I mean, some people are saying Arsenal's going to walk it.
I mean, how do you see this going toe to toe? Do you see this being a battle? I'm a little bit worried about Scott McTominay, but Scott McTominay can do a job, right? So who will shut down Odegaard? For me, the danger man is Odegaard.
Yeah, I've been saying that if Fred can do a job like he did on Kevin De Bruyne last week, it's gonna play a big part in stopping the flow and attack that we have through Odegaard. But if you've watched Arsenal this season, you've seen it's more than just Odegaard. You've seen that you got Zinchenko as an outlet, Xhaka's runs are an outlet, and Nketiah coming in deep, creating that space for the wingers to come through. So there is more than one outlet to, let's just say, for Arsenal to score today. It's a matter of stopping the transitions for me. It's a matter of Partey, being that guy in midfield that stops Rashford, stops Weghorst and Anthony coming through and hitting us on the counter attack. I think we missed that last game against at Old Trafford. And it ultimately cost us as, Bruno and Eriksen were having a field day sending those long balls through. So, yeah, Partey will have a big part to play.
Are you scared about Rashford?
Look, he loves a good goal against Arsenal, so it's kind of inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you think he'll score? What's the score prediction, Abs?
I'm thinking 2-0, but
To who?
I wouldn't be to Arsenal, of course.
Okay.
Of course, Arsenal patriot.
Do you believe that, or do you just hope for that?
No, I think, like I said, if we do all the right things and come to play football and play well, we could very much get that result. But I think a more realistic would probably be a 2-1.
Yeah,
But
I've got two. I've got 2-1 United.
I got 2-1 United.
2-1 United or 2-2.
Yeah.
Is that the optimistic prediction, or is that the realistic prediction?
I don't think United are going to roll Arsenal over. Not just because of Casemiro. I just think Arsenal are in such a good run of form at the moment. They've got so much belief in what they're doing. I don't think they really are so confident going into this game. And I think with all the talk around Casemiro, it's almost made United the underdogs. Now, whether that's going to help Arsenal or help United, I don't know, because it could help us. It could help United because Arsenal think they've already won it before they step on the pitch, or it could help United because actually, they're going to expect it to try harder because Casemiro is not there as a team. But I think both teams have been playing well as a team this year. I don't think you've seen very much standout individual players. Yeah, we speak about Casemiro, but that's a position he plays. You can speak about Eriksen, that's a position he plays. You can speak about Martinelli, that's a position that he plays. That Saka, and Nketiah, or there's players really stood out for both teams throughout the season. So you've not just got an individual, as Ronaldo, so to speak, past tense. He was the sort of focal point who everyone looked at, but you're just not seeing that. So Rohill, hi, yeah, Noah McTominay start, yeah, you look a bit worried by that.
No, hi Noah, how are you doing?
We've seen
Noah, where you're chatting from? I think you asked. Guys, let us know which part of the world you are calling in from or chatting in from, because we have Abs from down under Sydney. I'm in Thailand. Phil is in Manchester, UK. So we well spread out.
It's the time zones don't do us justice down here. So I've got work in the morning as well. So I don't know how I'm going to manage to get myself up for that too.
Are you staying up for the game as well, Abs?
Yeah, well, it starts in half an hour or 20 minutes. So
you're not just not going to bed?
I might as well. I'll fix my sleeping pattern while I'm at it.
Mate, fair income, mate. You just take some matchsticks and just chuck it under your eyelids and just keep it wide open. Like you go, it's like your boss is say, right, mate?
You confirm they do sound like that as well.
Yeah, I used to live in Perth, WA, so yeah, I know how to have a crack. Anyway, so I know how it is to sort of catch those games, especially when you are like in a different time zone. Like I'm suffering right now because I'm 7 hours ahead of UK time. So doing all these streams is relentless. Like especially now we're gonna play like 3 games a week until mid-March. Like it's gonna be like 3 a.m. So I'm quite good because here the game starts about 11:30 p.m. my time. So yeah, I'm quite good at that.
Yeah, look, it'll probably help when the daylight saving goes back to normal. Games will eventually be pushed an hour back, and then when the UK goes back as well, we'll have 2-hour difference. So this game will be at 1:30, which will be a lot more acceptable. But yeah, no, it's been good. Look, anything for this team. I love my team. You know, I've only missed 2 games this season, and it's probably because I slept through both of them. So, well, no, it's been a good ride. You don't want to miss. You know, if we win the league this year, I'll be able to tell my kids and my grandkids one day that, you know, this is what happened. We beat this team on
But this
this
is
day.
what we're
We
here
beat
for,
United.
mate. This is football. This is what we're passionate about. I'm really happy that Arsenal is back. The good old rivalry is back the way it used to be, like, you know, the Wenger, Sir Alex era, like it used to be the Invisibles versus us. And, you know, look, nobody expected Arsenal to be where they are today. Nobody expected United to be in the position that we are today. So whoever wins, it's going to be a scintillator win. Or if it's a draw, that's, I don't know. I can take a draw, but I cannot take an L.
I think if United win, it does blow the league right open, because last week after Casemiro went out, everyone's like, "Oh, United's out the title race." And at the end of the day, you know, City are playing well. They've had a couple of bad run of form, but they're still second in the league. You know, Newcastle drew yesterday, which took a little bit of pressure off. Chelsea, Liverpool drew again, takes a little bit of pressure off. So if it's a draw today, the only difference is that City's closed the gap a little bit on Arsenal. And pulled a bit away from United, but a draw wouldn't be the worst result right now, probably for both teams. But obviously, both teams want the win ultimately, stuff like that. So absolutely. If referees play better, it's not about the referees. If the team plays, you know, if United play well enough, get the goals that are undisputable, then it doesn't. That's that. You know, I think is straight after a game, it can often be a knee-jerk reaction. You know, you see one referee decision, you go, well, actually, there was 90 minutes, so you can't blame it on just that one decision. But yeah, understand that we would like to see a good referee game as well. Make sure that we get a fair result, and no one's comes off the pitch talking about the referee. Let's hopefully be talking about what's going on the pitch instead.
Yeah. Noah comes with a chat to you. I think Abs can answer that. Partey would definitely create problems for United when attacking counter-attack. Yeah, Partey's pretty good, Abs. What do you reckon? He's been quite injury. I mean, we know he's injury prone, but he's been quite fit this season, right?
Yeah, he's gotten back to his best. I think what I've been telling, I've been chatting with a lot of United fans, and I've told them that when we get into our little Casemiro Partey debates and into all of that, I say that Partey's been performing to this level over the last couple of seasons. Just that this season has been on the field a lot more, and his ability to break lines with his passing, whether it's through the defense, over the defense, his ability to stop and protect that back four as well, it's going to be very vital. And I think if we get the chance to hit on the counter attack, which was one thing I was going to bring up with Weghorst, I wonder what the goal will be if we push you guys back. You know, you're defending a lot of the game. How's Weghorst going to come into this game? Because he's not a Rashford who's going to charge down with pace. He's a bit more bigger. He's a bit more slower. So I wonder how that's going to go.
I think it's a fair question. I mean, I think the problem is I'm still waiting to see what happens with Weghorst yet. You know, at the end of the day, we saw him for 70 minutes the other day against Palace. He wasn't great. There's no denying that, but he's literally trained for 1.5 days, if that. Not just about fitness, but actually the team dynamics, the process that they follow, whether they're going to counter-attack, press, high press, low, you know, deep press, high press, whatever it is. You've got to learn Ten Hag's way of playing. My concern was with Weghorst, he didn't appear to be it wasn't just about the transition and the movement, it was about what appeared to be lack of effort. Now, whether or not we see more of that as his fitness increases and he gets used to the game, or he just felt under just a lot of pressure under the spotlight, I don't know. And I've not seen, he didn't look too pacey. So I don't think it's going to be, if it's a counter attack, I could be wrong, but I've not seen enough of him. But from what I did see, he doesn't look like the sort of player who's going to be like making the centre backs panic. Well, and can't watch the wing backs, the Rashfords and Anthony as well pressing forward at the same time with Bruno pushing on. Yeah. Obviously, that's the way we all press together. But whether you almost feel that someone's going to sprint past Weghorst, but we don't know. So yeah, Scotty, absolutely. If he plays good, then United plays better. I mean, at the end of the day, you're absolutely right, Ayush. We need a good performance from Scotty, because not just if he plays well, they play better, but everybody on the pitch needs to play well, because this is a massive game.
It is.
In terms of perception, that possibly, I won't quite say the rest of the season, but it will certainly have an impact on the mindset, especially the way United went down against Palace the other day. If they lose again today, the mindset will be a bit like, we're rocking, you know. So we're starting to hear in the media now, United aren't ready for the league and stuff like that. Whereas before that, they were like, oh, United are back, Ten Hag's cooking here, like, you know. So, but yeah, absolutely.
But even with the fan base as well, there would be a little bit of a deflate balloon as well. Like, you know how it is. So this game is quite. I would say it's the game of the season so far. I would say, because it's
in terms of
such
importance.
It's so important. Like, you know, I don't know what was the end result with City Wolves. Last time I checked,
3-0.
3-0. So they are kind of finding form again. Yeah.
Haaland hat trick.
Oh my God, he's back.
We
don't talk about Haaland. No,
not today. Nope.
So City can be a good threat for us, Abs, and feel like, you know, from a title race perspective, like, you know, and
Yeah, look, we've still got a couple games in hand on them at the moment, even though one of them is Manchester City themselves. And I've said this: if City play football the way we know City can, and I still think today it wasn't, you know, I've noticed he subbed off Rico Lewis, and it was, who was he playing at left back?
Today?
Laporte. Oh, yeah, he subbed off Rico. He was playing Laporte at left back, John Stones, Akanji, and he brought on RK. And then he basically, at half time, the subs he made, he ended up with 4 centre backs at the back. And it really makes me, I do not know what Pep is cooking, because that is not the City we know. Usually he's got very attacking fullbacks and he's overwhelming defenses. So it's going to be exciting to see how it goes, because if he keeps playing this defensive football, I do not know what to expect out of a game like that.
Well, to be fair, he brought, you know, Nathan Ake on in the 46th minute for Rico Lewis. And then he swapped Haaland for Alvarez in the 61st minute, which the game was already done. He scored his 3 goals. De Bruyne for Bernardo Silva, so like for like. Rodri for Kelvin Phillips, just because he's going to get something in for his money. And Mahrez for Cole Palmer in the 81st minute. So I think he's kind of done like for like throughout the way. He doesn't. I think, you know, there has been a lot of questions recently of City changing their style of play to suit Haaland, as opposed to Haaland fitting into the City way of playing. And obviously, you know, whatever's working, he's breaking records left, right, and centre. So it doesn't really matter which way they're playing from their perspective, from a fan's perspective, because from a fan's perspective, they're scoring a lot of goals. Or he particularly is.
I think we were in the same space before, Abs, and we were talking about that. You know, what was the problem with Pep Guardiola and the drop off all of a sudden? And we came to terms, and I said that as well. Like, you know, he's trying to accommodate the playing style with a proper number 9 in Haaland. You know, he's been quite stubborn in doing so, and being quite defensive as well. But I think where we saw the wheels, you know, come back on to the car was when they started to play wide again. You know, when they came back from, was it Tottenham, like in the second half? That was just the greatest comeback I've ever seen. And we saw, like, in our City, like playing the old City style, like playing wide, playing from the wings, and just hitting it. So I don't know if they're coming back. I'm sure they're going to find a run of form, and, you know, it's going to be an interesting top 3 battle. Like, you know, top 4 for me, guys. It's like the drop off is quite huge. I mean, if you look at where Tottenham is sitting at the moment, where's Chelsea, where's Liverpool, so it is kind of going to be like last season, like, you know, where people are going to say, like, you know, who wants it? You know, if you remember, we were all battling for the top 4. Like, you know, we kept losing points.
Chelsea, nobody wants it. Everyone throwing it away, weren't they?
But I think we're comfortable sitting, at least we can protect our top 4, right? At the end of the day, like, you know, I said it to you, Phil, you know, I'm a Patriot United, but I'm also a realist. So I said, like, you know, for me, this year is all about the rebuild. Like, you know, if you get into top 4, it's a bonus. If we win a trophy, or, you know, even not even talk about the title race, but and I'm going to get too giddy, but if we win the title, that is a massive overachievement, you know. But I'm just happy to see good attacking football, Erik ten Hag style. And I guess, Abs, from your point of view as well, like, you know, proves that you kept the manager for 4 years in a row. Now you're bearing the fruits of it, like, you know. So what I would ask you the question: what is the most singular thing that he has done to improve this side? Is it to get out of the deadwoods, the egos, and just play the young kids, or what's your general thoughts around that?
I think the main thing is, and you guys probably will agree because you're starting to see it with Ten Hag, it's instilling a culture. A winning culture, and B, a disciplinary culture. So you look at the situation with Ozil, you look at the situation with Aubameyang. It's there's non-negotiables in place. There's certain things you have to do, certain requirements you have to meet, certain levels of professionalism you have to hold up, and I think that's the main thing is brought back to the club, because I felt like we lost that a lot under Unai Emery after Wenger left. And I've always said, when you've got a manager of 20 years plus that's been there, you cannot pick up the pieces and keep going with it. You got to stop, you got to rebuild, and you go from there. And I got to credit him and Edu's ability to wipe out that wage bill, to make sure you're getting all these older players on big wages who are underperforming out of the club, and then bringing in these youngsters who are playing for the badge, who are constantly holding up these professional levels a lot better than you had your David Luiz's who towards the end started. You could see his age. Aubameyang's a big one. Lacazette, even it's and another thing is ruthlessness as well. Is that if you're not performing, you're not doing your job properly, the next person's there waiting to take it. And he showed that last year towards the end of the season with Lacazette. Wasn't putting the goals in the back of the net. He's like, all right, look, we've had enough. You're not doing anything for the team. Brings on Nketiah, who scored, I think, 5 or 7 goals in the last 5 games. So I've got to credit him. He's put his foot down, and it's proved well.
I feel that sounds a little bit similar to our situation as well. Like, we're looking at the wage bill cap as well. We're looking at exactly what Abs was saying. Ten Hag is a tracksuit manager. If you're not performing well in training, if you're not performing, you're getting dropped. Doesn't matter, disciplinary, right? So
we've seen that absolutely. I think it's going to be. We've seen. You saw some very big characters leave both clubs. You saw Aubameyang leave. Everyone's like, why is he not playing?
Ronaldo.
Exactly. So sort of saying Aubameyang, from Arsenal, and Ronaldo from United, and both managers have stood up to the big name. I mean, Ronaldo, let's be honest, Ten Hag coming in saying, actually, no, you're not staying. You've messed my team around too much. You've cost us too many issues off the pitch, or, you're messing about at the beginning. Not messing about. The situation at the beginning of the season, it was too indecisive and stuff like that. From what we're hearing, that he didn't know whether he was staying or not. And it's just like, look, at the end of the day, let's just draw a line under it. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your goals. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for the effort. It's not working. You go off, make your money, and retire happy.
Right.
So I think we're just
going to go to Ayush's comment here. Like, in terms of, we know we are a little bit weak in the midfield, and Casemiro is getting injured. But Ayush reckons Tielemans and Bissouma, we can try on them both. Both are playing in poor teams with poor management.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, I'm just aware. I'm just keeping my eye on the time. We've got like 6 minutes before kickoff, so I'll be gone in about 1 minute, I think. But transfers, absolutely. We know Tielemans. We know what he brings. To me, he's a bit more of an attacking midfielder, and I'm not sure we need that. We're looking for more of a defensive midfielder, or maybe box to box sort of thing. Tielemans got the goals in him and stuff. I've not analysed him enough to be able to say exactly what he brings to a full game regularly. But he's known for obviously his goals and what he can. He's done quite well for Belgium at times. Anthony 360 when Arsenal is 3-0 down. I think if he does that, then Anthony won't be seen again for another 360 days. Never mind for another 360 degrees, because we saw what Ten Hag thought of that last time.
I also think if he tries to do that, Xhaka will just go 2 foot right into his legs this time. So
I remember Lewis Nani doing that years ago against Arsenal, wasn't he? And he got cleaned out. I think it was against Arsenal. He was doing some little seal headers and kick-ups, and then somebody just say good night sort of thing having it on our pitch. Don't need none of that, and I don't think Ten Hag would stand for it either. It was good to see. It was entertaining for the fans. I was happy to say I was at the match the day he did that. And I saw it live, and it was fantastic. But
guys.
Anyway, 25.
Any final words before we die? It's 5 minutes left to the kickoff.
Like, subscribe, share, let everybody know about the show. Join us at the next one. Many more shows, lots more coming, lots new ideas right on the horizon.
Big up field philosophy first.
Yeah, you've seen the intro that went out today. That's getting ready for for our show between us, MUFC Realist TV, and obviously thank you for joining at this early
It's a
hour of the
pleasure,
morning.
My
Really
pleasure.
Let the
appreciate
best
it.
team win, Abs, and big up to you, mate. And you
Let's
know
not-
what? If you win, it's going to be worth like coming to your boss tomorrow. Like,
Yeah, we're like, sorry, boss, got to take the day off sick. But look, I just want a good game of football, whatever the result
too.
is, and let's just hope football wins at the end of the day. And it was a pleasure being on, you guys. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
cheers,
thank
guys.
you.
Let's go. Let's go for the game.
See you later. Have a good
See
game,
yous all.
guys.
Yeah.
You too. Bye for now.
Oi, oi, oi. Thank you for watching MUFC Realist TV and this episode. Listen, if you really like what you're seeing, please continue watching other content that we provide, because it's unique content providing by a fan for the fan, allowing you to be real red for real with real opinions, because at the end of the day,